So a viewer left a comment on this channel a while back, and honestly, it's the reason this video exists. He said the market crushed Illuvium, but the team is still building sweet gaming infrastructure, and he's quietly stacking the token while he waits. So I did what we do here. I didn't check the price. We never touch the price. I checked the receipts, the code, the on-chain data, and the studio's own governance minutes. And here's the twist I did not see coming, right? The single harshest critic of Illuvium's entire crypto design? It isn't some angry gamer on Reddit. It's Illuvium's own CEO. On the record. In documents he put his own name on. So this isn't a scam story, and it's not a moon story. It's a studio learning, out loud, in real time, that the crypto part might have been the problem. Let's get into it. So let's start with where these people came from, because it's not where you'd guess. Illuvium was founded back in 2020 by three brothers, Kieran, Aaron, and Grant Warwick. And here's the family detail that matters, right? They have a fourth brother, Kane, and Kane Warwick founded Synthetix, one of the foundational protocols in all of DeFi. He didn't just lend his name, he wrote a check into Illuvium's very first round. So this is, functionally, the Synthetix family's second act. Now here's what makes it audacious. Not one person on that founding team was a game developer. Kieran was one of the youngest retail franchisees in Australia, then moved into crypto payments. Aaron ran retail franchises and sports venues. Grant was a 3D artist. Total outsiders. And the idea hit Kieran watching another game. In his words, Axie Infinity was a light bulb moment, but he spotted the flaw underneath it, and this became the thesis for the whole company. The problem with Axie, he said, was you always needed more people flowing into the economy just to keep it alive, and they wanted to do the complete opposite. Then the brothers couldn't even agree what to build. Aaron wanted a Pokemon-style creature RPG. Kieran wanted an auto-battler like Teamfight Tactics. So they just merged them. In 2021, they raised a $5 million seed led by Framework Ventures, with Aave's founder and their own brother Kane writing checks. And in June of 2022, they sold digital land, over $72 million of it, nearly 20,000 plots gone. Outsiders storming the castle. That's the origin. So did they actually build the thing? Because that's the fans' real claim. And yeah, the engineering here earns genuine respect. Take the battles. In a normal game, the fight plays out inside the graphics engine. Illuvium doesn't do that. The entire fight is computed by a tiny program in pure C++ that resolves in a few milliseconds. And Unreal Engine 5 is just the movie projector showing you the result. And because that simulation is deterministic, same inputs, same outcome, every time. The server never stores the fight. It only stores the inputs, a few bytes, and any match can be replayed later at any quality. That's a genuinely provably fair foundation. Then there's the land. Your plot of alien land isn't a picture on a server, it's a number. Illuvium's land contract, public, and audited by both CertiK and PeckShield, takes one seed and derives the entire landscape from it. Every resource site, every coordinate, the landmark in the middle. The same way No Man's Sky generates a planet. The NFT literally draws its own map on chain. And here's the correction almost every article still gets wrong, right? People say Illuvium runs on Immutable X. That's out of date. It's a 3-chain project now. The token on Ethereum, staking moved to Base at the end of 2025, and the game assets migrated to Immutable's ZK EVM in early 2026. They even run 2 engines, Unreal 5 for the big titles, Unity for the mobile city builder. One honest note though, the backend runs on Amazon servers. The chain holds the assets, Amazon holds the game. That's not a gotcha, it's just the honest architecture of a game that needs to be fun. So, the fan's not wrong, the infrastructure is real. Okay, but here's where it gets complicated, and this is the part I really want you to remember. How many people actually play this game? And the honest answer is nobody outside Illuvium can fully tell you. Here's why. Steam, the biggest PC store, won't carry games with NFTs. So Illuvium ships only on the Epic Games Store. And Epic doesn't publish player counts for anything. So the public scoreboard that lets you audit a PC game's population, for Illuvium, it simply doesn't exist. Which means every player number you've ever read about this game is self-reported or a guess, including that 40,000 daily users figure copied around everywhere. We don't use it. So instead, we check the chain ourselves. And at first glance, wow, roughly 19,000 NFT transfers a day. A booming game, right? Yeah, not so fast. When I broke the sample down, 800 of the first 1,000 transfers were a single method called burn batch, and all 1,000 came from just 26 wallets. That's not thousands of players. That's a handful of back-end system wallets running batch jobs. And this is the teachable moment of the whole video. On-chain activity is not the same thing as human beings. Anyone who quotes you a big transaction number as proof of players is fooling you or fooling themselves. So what does the chain honestly show? About 44,500 wallets hold an Illuvium creature. But say it precisely. That's a cumulative count of holders over time, not people logging in today. The real daily player count is something nobody, including us, can independently verify. And that is a finding. So now we get to the part that genuinely surprised me. In February of 2025, Illuvium cut about 40% of its staff, roughly 110 people down to around 65. But the composition tells the real story, right? Not a single developer was cut. The layoffs hit marketing, operations, and QA. Leadership took pay cuts, and some took their salary in the token instead of cash. That's a team trying to survive to ship, not a team cashing out. But here's what nobody covers: the candor in their own governance documents. There's a proposal, IIP 74, and the sponsor listed right at the top is Kieran Warwick himself. And in it, he admits in writing that 10 people held 40% of the game's fuel, and 250 people held 70%, because his team had been cut too thin to ship a price floor in time. Then he made the DAO refund about 70 ETH to unwind it, writing that the DAO is responsible for everyone, quote, not just the few who leverage the system's weaknesses. When have you ever seen a CEO put his name on that? And it goes deeper. That whole DAO, it's 5 NFTs, 5. And the contract running it is a literal GitHub fork of Synthetix's governance system, the company his brother founded, with the original proposal numbers still sitting in the description. And that famous promise, 100% of revenue to stakers, it's paused. In the DAO's own words, they compared it to halting dividend payouts in a traditional company that misses its revenue targets. And look, I want to be really clear. This is not a hit piece. Nobody is attacking Illuvium here. Illuvium is doing this to itself, out loud, in public, in its own minutes. And honestly, that is rarer and way more creditable than a polished PR line ever would be. So while the whole internet argued about the token, the studio just kept shipping. 10 patches to their main game between February and June of 2026. A complete chain migration. A new staking system on Base. Even a Lamborghini brand deal with a $50,000 esports cup. And patch cadence is the least fakeable signal in all of software. Theirs is steady. So on that, the fan is absolutely right. They are still building. And in June 2026, they shipped a brand new game called Deathmatch. It's what they call Risk to Earn, a 10-player auto battler where losing can permanently destroy your NFT creature, with a paid entry and a growing jackpot. Kieran's argument is that old-school play-to-earn trained players to expect free money, and this is the honest, sustainable version. But here's the receipt nobody read. From Illuvium's own council minutes, dated June 10th, In Deathmatch's first week, the free mode saw over 20,000 matches. The paid modes? Fewer than 500. That's roughly 40 to 1 against the mode that actually makes money. They built the machine, and their own players politely declined to feed it. And the flagship, the open world creature game everyone actually came for, it was switched off in January 2026. It's being rebuilt into a full MMO they're calling Obelisk Rising. And right now, that's just a waitlist and some closed pre-alpha tests. There's no public launch date. Kieran's even started a separate company on the side to fund traditional non-crypto game studios. So the picture resolves like this. The effort is real, and it's relentless. What's uncertain is the finish line. So, is the viewer right? Yeah, he is. They're still building, and every receipt is date stamped. But the market was only half the story. The studio also overpromised back in 2021, and it's living with that delivery debt now. Both things are true at once, and that's the honest answer. So let me leave you with something you can actually use. First, the free opportunity. Illuvium publishes its main council meeting minutes on its own portal at portal.illuvium.io/governance. That's where we found the real story. The layoffs, the paused dividend, the game nobody plays. No journalist reads them. You can. It costs nothing. Second, a skill you can take to any Web3 game on Earth. That burn batch lesson. Before you ever believe a game's on-chain activity, check whether it's thousands of humans or a handful of back-end wallets running batch jobs. That one skill outlives Illuvium. And the honest verdict? The open question was never effort. It's whether a roughly 60-person studio can land an MMO before the runway does. So watch the minutes, not the hype. So if you got something out of that, hit subscribe. This is Information in Motion, where we read the documents so the story stays honest. The full written breakdown and every single source is linked in the description. And drop me a comment. What should we put under the microscope next? I read all of them. See you in the next one.